Brian Craig Show podcast. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes, and we got a lot to cover, but what I'm going to start with is President Trump's MRI results are in. And, of course, the media and the liberals are freaking out. Why? Because he got a clean bill of health. It's amazing how pissed off the media get when Trump is in good health. I'm sorry, How many doctors have to give him a clean bill of health before they'll, I've never seen a group of people so miserable over someone's good health before. It's bizarre. But, that's the Trump derangement syndrome. And they got it pretty hardcore. Now to see, and I'm going to play a lot of audio and video. I'm going to go through a few things from Caroline Leavitt's press conference today. So to see and hear the audio and video, you got to go to my main live stream, which is linked
press conference today. So
in which is linked in the description. All right. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll. And I will be taking calls. Just a moment. Okay. Just one second. There we go. Okay, hold on one second, guys. Gotta get a drink. All right, I'm going to start the main stream. Welcome, everyone. If you want to see and hear all the audio and video that I go over, it is linked in the description. All right, here we go. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. And as always, we have a lot to talk about. Here we are. It's the Monday after Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the one American holiday that everyone does, no matter what their background is, no matter where they're from originally, no matter their religion. It's a big holiday. And it's been non-stop news over the holiday weekend. And here we are into Cyber Monday. And the White House press conference today with Caroline Leavitt, the media are just having meltdowns. So I'm going to break down some of that. Welcome. If you're new, make sure you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. So nothing angers the media more and the Never Trumpers more than Trump being given a clean bill of health. And he went in for his physical. They gave him an MRI, which is standard. You hear me? I Life Imaging FLA that I endorse and talk about on the morning show. I went and had my full body scan, my heart scan, and everything else to find out if I got any heart problems or cancer. I mean, this is a normal thing you do as you age. But they got it in their head that, he had an MRI, so he must have a brain tumor. That's why he's acting so irrationally, It drives them nuts. And remember, Ronnie Jackson, who's now a great congressman from Texas, was the White House doctor for Obama and Bush 2 and Trump, he came out and gave Trump a clean bill of health, and they tried to destroy his life. They ran him out of the Navy, and if you remember, Ronnie Jackson was an admiral. He was a one-star admiral. They demoted him to captain because he gave Trump a clean bill of health in his first term. Remember that? Now, here we are many years later. He gets his new physical by new doctors, and they do the MRI, and his health is spectacular. But they had created in their mind that this MRI test, which is a routine test, if you sprain your ankle and you go to the emergency room, they're going to do an MRI, okay? There's probably been 50 MRIs done or even more in this country since I started this program 2 minutes ago, right? So, that's one of the most common tests done, but they had created in their mind through their Trump derangement syndrome suffering brains. They're the ones that need MRI to find out if it can detect the Trump derangement syndrome virus in their brain or tumor in their brain. But they convinced themselves that he had cancer or was going to have a heart attack because he had an MRI, which is absurd. And he was on Air Force One. He's like, no, it was perfect MRI. Well, that wasn't enough. So they said, well, you release the results. We release the results. So President Trump said, yeah, I'll release the results. That was last night on Air Force One, flying back to Washington from Mar-a-Lago. And then today in the White House press briefing, Caroline Leavitt releases the results. I want to play what she said to you, and then she also released the report from the doctors on the MRI. And of course, that does nothing but tick them off even more. And now, by the way, if you're watching on the live stream with the green wall behind me, if you want to see and hear all the audio and video and things I show, you got to go to my main live stream, which is pinned in the live chat. That's right. Sorry, liberals. Sorry, media. Sorry, never Trumpers. Yeah, they just can't stand it. They just can't stand it. And then on top of all that, he releases the letter. All right. Now let me pull this up and read this to you. It says here. Well, I got to pull it up on my phone, and then I'll read through it. Look at this. Bill Clinton never released a single physical. People at the time were speculating that he had some kind of STD, which is probably true. And then look at Biden, who was completely out of it, right? So here's the letter in the headline of the letter. It's from the letterhead is Physician to the President, White House. Memorandum, December 1st, 2025, to Caroline Leavitt, White House Press Secretary, from Sean P. Barbabella, D.O., Physician to the President, Captain, U.S. Navy. Subject, summary of President Donald J. Trump's advanced imaging results for immediate release. As part of President Donald J. Trump's comprehensive physical, advanced imaging was performed because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health. The purpose of this imaging is preventative, to identify issues early, confirm overall health, and ensure he maintains long-term vitality and function. President Trump's cardiovascular imaging is perfectly normal. There is no evidence of arterial narrowing, impairing blood flow, or abnormalities in the heart or major vessels. The heart chambers are normal in size, the vessel walls appear smooth and healthy, and there are no signs of inflammation or clotting. Overall, his cardiovascular system shows excellent health. His abdominal imaging is also perfectly normal. All major organs appear very healthy and well perfused. Everything evaluated is functioning within normal limits with no acute or chronic concerns. Summary: this level of detailed assessment is standard for an executive physical at President Trump's age and confirms that he remains in excellent overall health. Sorry, guys. Clean bill of health. You're going to have to find something. This is crazy. When I was growing up, like I remember when Ronald Reagan was president, he was always in the hospital because at the time, he was the oldest man elected at the time. He was sworn in when he was 70. He won the election, I believe he was 69. And even then they were talking about, he's going to have Alzheimer's and all this stuff. And he was always going to the doctor. And I remember Bush 1 at the doctor all the time. Even G.W. Bush would go to the doctor. And they used to do this thing in the press. They don't do it anymore. The press are just disgusting, poisonous, low-life people. But a lot of you may remember this. Remember the presidents, they'd go to Walter Reed. The press would be outside Walter Reed Hospital, and the president would be wearing a hospital bathrobe and would wave at the press, and it would be like a positive story. The president got his physical. He's doing well. He's healthy. Not anymore. The press get pissed off when President Trump has good health reports. I don't know what it is about President Trump, but he's not a mortal man. I mean, he has the energy of a 35-year-old. He's doing very well. And they had been building up all this thing because he had some bruising on his hands a while back. Remember this? Well, he shakes about 1,000 hands a day sometimes. That would make anyone's hand hurt. And maybe puncture some blood vessels. But they had convinced themselves because the bruising on his hand, and then there was they said there was some swelling of the ankles recently. And they had a video, which I questioned, when he was walking up a ramp at the White House and said he was having problems. So they had created in their mind that President Trump had all these health issues. And of course, he has none. He is a perfect specimen of physical health. And we're very happy for that, right? But not the media. No. The media, they are pissed. But I want to, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to go through some things from Caroline Leavitt's press conference. This was a great press conference. And I got to say, Caroline Leavitt, how old is she? 28 yet? She is far beyond her years so far as skill of being the White House press secretary. She's the best White House press secretary we've ever had. The only other one that I would say would be her equal, and he wasn't there very long, was Tony Snow. Remember, he passed away of cancer. He was very good. He was on Fox News, and G.W. Bush hired him, and he worked there a very short time, and he was very good with the press. But he left because he had cancer. He didn't have that much time there. She is just a home run every press conference. And what she does at these White House press conferences is kind of what I do. I got these liberals who call me. She's got these liberals in the press corps that call on her. And they gang up on her too, right? They ask the same, everyone will ask the same question the one before asked. No matter what she's talking about, they'll ask the same question. You'll get 5 or 10 questions, same question. And she's always got the right answers, and she's very smart. There is one thing they do, though, at the White House press briefing that I really don't like. I can't remember the name of. Hey, Kathy, do you remember the name of the girl that was there today from the Daily Wire? No, she doesn't remember. They have this thing. Yeah, that was my wife. She doesn't remember the name. Maybe somebody saw it and know. They have this thing that the Caroline Leavitt does where they bring somebody in from the new media, and they have to sit on the wall on the corner. And today they had the new girl at Ben Shapiro's The Daily Wire. I cannot remember her name. You know who I'm talking about? I can't remember. If somebody knows in the chat, let me know. I'll know it if I see it. It'll ring a bell. But when they have these, the White House press briefing room, for some reason, and I don't know why this is, how it is organized and where people sit is under the authority of the White House press corps. And I don't know why that is. So Caroline Leavitt can't just sit this person from the new media wherever they want. So they got to go into this chair on the side. It's kind of like a dunce chair where the rest of the media won't let them in their club. So they got to go sit over on the side. And it's really insulting. It reminds me of, and some of you may remember this too, the first season of, no, it's not Brett Cooper. It's a girl who's there now. And she's been at the Daily Wire for a few months. I cannot remember her name. She's kind of new over there. And she was the special person today. But anyway, in the first season of Survivor, it doesn't seem like, it was like #1 show on television. And actors were getting nervous. I mean, actors thought reality TV was going to put them all out of work. Now the actors are trying to become reality TV stars and starting YouTube podcasts and stuff, right? But it was a big deal. And Survivor is CBS. So every week, the person that got voted off the island would be a guest on David Letterman. And the celebrities were saying that they would not appear on David Letterman and sit on the couch next to someone from Survivor, a reality star, because they're not actors. They're not actors, so they won't sit there. So what Letterman did is he wouldn't let them come out on stage and sit down. They had to do the interview backstage, and they'd be like off the side behind the curtains. It was very humiliating. And one of the Survivor cast in the first season wouldn't even do that. They wouldn't go on the show. I can't remember which one. But anyway, that's what it's like in the White House press briefing room. It's a way for the White House press corps to feel superior. You're not one of us. Yeah, Brown is her last name. I can't remember her first name. Her first name is Brown from the Daily Wire. You've got to go sit along the wall in the dunce chair. You are not up to our level. We're the White House press corps. Who do you think you are? These people are so full of themselves. They're so irrelevant these days. No one cares or listens to them. But anyway, so back to this. So I want to, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to go through some of the clips from the White House press briefing room. This is all today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this new thing they started doing this a couple weeks back, where they have their fake news thing of the week, and they're highlighting this on the White House official website, and she's calling it out in the press briefings. I think that's great. You know, call these people out for the liars and the frauds that they are, because that is most definitely what they are. Let's see here. What's the next clip? Oh, yes. Okay. You know, they're having these just insanely massive. Monique just became a member on the YouTube channel. Well, welcome, Monique. You're now a member. You get the special members only emojis, and you get your name in a special color too when you become a member of the channel in the chat, so you stand out in the chat. They're getting very upset that President Trump is not going to let any more people from the third world in, and they're going to do massive deportations of these refugees that have come into places like Afghanistan. And I mean, the way the media and the Democrats are reacting to this, like Mark Kelly with a freshly shaven head, he goes on TV the other week. Oh, that they're saying they don't want brown people here. That's how I hear it. I hear that as they don't want non-white people here. They don't want brown people here. What are you talking about, stupid? You know, what are these people contributing to this country? One of these refugees shot dead a female guardsman the day before Thanksgiving, shot another one. There's this story coming out of Tim Waltz's Minnesota where these Somalian refugees stole, what, $1 billion or something in taxpayer money? You know, and I was talking to my wife, you know, my wife and I on different parts of our families, our great-grandparents came here from other countries. The way it worked in the past, you know, during the big waves of immigration from Europe, it's much different than now. The United States is a big country, and this was the thinking then, and this is how immigrants thought. The United States is a big country. It still is. We still got a lot of open space here. And the United States of America is the greatest country in the world because of our government, our economic system, and everything. And no matter where you're from, you can come here and become an American. And people came here from Europe and they became Americans. Go see the jazz singer, right? Not the original, the other jazz, the new one. The Neil Diamond jazz singer. He got a whole song about it. They're coming to America, right? You know, and like my wife's great-grandparents are from Italy. No one in the family speaks it. My grandmother on my mother's side, her whole family are from Greece. No one in the family speaks Greek. They're Americans. Now what happens, we get these so-called third world refugees fleeing a fictitious climate crisis or something. They come from some anarchy like Somalia. They come over here, and they don't come over here to become Americans. They don't come over here to be productive, to produce, to become a part of society. They come over here to retire and live off the American taxpayer. It's a whole nother thing. It has nothing to do with their skin color, their religion, or even their country of origin so much. It's the type of immigration it is. It's a retirement plan. Oh, let me go to America and retire. Not go over there and get a job or get an education or start a business or anything. Get over here and retire off the U.S. taxpayers. That's what they're doing. While you and me work all the time so these Somalians can come over here and retire and tell us that we should be running our country in the Somalian way, whatever that is. So this next clip in the press conference involves that kind of. That's right. That's right. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know, this new wave of immigrants, they call them refugees. What are they contributing that's positive to our country, right? They're shooting National Guardsmen. They're stealing $1 billion from the taxpayers in Minnesota. They're murdering and raping people, taking jobs illegally from people. All these things. What is this wave of refugee contributing to this country. And the president, he said on Air Force One yesterday, he says they come from Somalia and they want to tell us how to run our country when they come from these anarchies? Come on. And they contribute nothing positive. Everything they contribute is negative. This might be the same clip that I just played in a different version. Might get a little bit more. Let's see here. Yep. Now I like this on Fox News. They've got Tim Walz's picture up on the screen. Now this is real news. We talk so much about fake news. We don't talk too much about real news. And all of us have problems with Fox, but this is real news. All this money stolen in Minnesota, and you've got this Tim Walz guy who's been bringing them in there and setting them up. And it's being presented, rightly so, as a Tim Walz scandal. Because how did this happen under his watch? Right? I'd like to see some investigation in the finances of him, his entire family, and even extended family. I mean, I'm talking about 18th cousins. They need to go back as far as they can on Ancestry.com and get all the relations and find out what the financial situation of Tim Walz and his whole family, including extended family, is. He seems too quick to defend this thievery. With a B. Wow, in Turkey and Kenya. Oh, Kenya. Obama's homeland. Boy, oh boy. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the toll-free number, it's toll-free no matter where you're tuned in, is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. Yeah, I got to give credit to Fox News for properly identifying this as a Tim Walz scandal, because it is. Let me ask you this. Are you risking your retirement? What I mean by that is, do you have your money in the stock market with the ups and downs? It may be up now, maybe down tomorrow. Who knows? You don't have to take those risks. There's a no-risk retirement plan, and that's through Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities. With an annuity, not only is your money not at risk, no matter what happens in the stock market, your money is safe. But you're turning your money into guaranteed income for life. That's right. You get money each and every month for the rest of your life. And these annuities you can hand down to your children. It's great. It's absolutely amazing. I've learned so much since I met Joe Thomas about annuities, including that most pension plans, the ironclad pensions, they're annuities. The lottery, if you're lucky enough to win the lottery, you get that money. You get it in like every year. You get a lump, unless you take the lump sum. The lottery puts their money in an annuity, and a lot of very wealthy people invest in annuities because their nest egg, their principal, is not at risk, and they got that revenue stream coming in. It's absolutely amazing. If you want to learn more, call Jupiter Joe Thomas. He offers no charge consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located in the United States, okay? So you can, of course, if you're local and you want to meet him in person, you can do that. Or you can do the no-charge consultation over the phone or Zoom if you're out of town, out of state, or even in town, and you can't make it into his office. You can still do the appointment over the phone and through Zoom. If you're with a financial advisor and you want to take your financial account and turn it into an annuity, Joe Thomas will handle all that transaction for you. You don't have to talk to your financial person. If you have a 401k with a former employer, let Jupiter Joe Thomas know. He can transfer that. He can handle the whole transaction for you. You can get a hold of that human resource person that's in charge of your annuity, in charge of your 401k, and have it transferred into an annuity. Here's his number, 561 743 0999. 561 743 0999. And if you missed that number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Brian Craig Show podcast, available on all podcast platforms. Call us on hold. You hang in there. A little extended clip with this guy, with Caroline Levitt. She did a great job today, didn't she? What a jerk. I don't know who this guy is. I'll play her response in a minute. These people are these so-called refugees. They're refugees from their own culture where they live in a third world anarchy. How's that our problem? We're responsible because some of these countries, they're much older than we are, and they still can't get their act together. So we're supposed to just take them in because they can't run a country, so they can screw ours up? I don't think so. But what this reporter is talking about, see, and he's old enough to have his brain washed by this liberalism. What they've done is convince multiple generations of Americans that there's something wrong with our culture in the United States. And when he's talking, wait, what do you mean by our identity? This idiot, he believes our identity is an identity of racism, bigotry, hate, all these terrible things. Jerk. Let's hear Caroline Levitt's response. That's right. Wow. That's right. Yeah. This is right. And one of the reasons that they're so corrupt and do all this thievery is because they're from third world corrupt pits of hell where this is just everyday life. They don't even view what they're doing as criminal or corrupt. This is just how it's done. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean, what's up?
Well, we're seeing incredible strength from this president. I mean, there's quite insurgency he's facing. He's leading the ultimate counterinsurgency, what he's doing.
Yep.
And, I think there is a color revolution happening against him, and it's been talked about before, and I think that is true because there is, they've always been against him in every way, shape, and form. And what we're seeing here with all these people coming in is just another form of that as a weapon against him and the American people. And I think what's happening here is that Trump's finally saying, you know what, this isn't going to happen because these people are not just here to, for economic reasons. They're all, and maybe murder, but they also want to try and change their culture. I mean, certain sects want to do that
this
when
is
they come in here.
Hey, by the way, Sean, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Yeah, Sean's right on the money. What's going on here is these things we're talking about. Plus, they come here now and say, we want to turn your country into our country. That third world anarchy we fled, that's how we want it to be in Michigan or Springfield, Ohio. Are you, what? Why? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Jack. Let's see if we can talk without you.
We got a bad connection, Jack, so we can't talk. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian, or afternoon, sorry. It's Dot for 9 out of California.
Hey, what's up, California?
Hey, how are you?
All right.
I just wanted to wish you and your wife and your daughter a happy belated Thanksgiving.
Thank you
for everything that you do. I know that you're working incredibly hard, so thank you very much. First things first, President Trump is completely healthy, so sorry that he didn't have some underlining issue for all of those ones who were wishing that he did.
Exactly.
What's so funny to me is I don't recall ever having a white press conference in regards to Biden's medical issues. We never had any reports being disclosed about any findings, and even though everyone and their mother knew about it, that he had some major issues. I'm not wishing bad upon anyone,
Well, they were hiding his health issues and whatever form of dementia he's suffering from.
But see, that's my point. They're actively hiding his status from the American people, and he is the president of the United States. So he was basically working for us.
Correct.
And his conditions should have been disclosed because decision-making issues are definitely an issue, which is why he ended up, the auto pen ended up being utilized by individuals who had not been selected and who had not been presented to the American people to be a part of the leader of the free world. So so many things that we have discussed on your show have been part of his upcoming policies, and I'm over the moon. And for all of these individuals who end up presenting these stupid questions during these press conferences, it does not seem. And you are a historian specialist who knows about, our history, Ellis Island was where individuals came. They congregated, and that was the passport into our country. And I can't even tell you how many people were denied access for a variety of different reasons.
Well, there were all kinds of restrictions on immigration then. They didn't just let everybody in.
Exactly. So what exactly is the issue? You cannot come here, okay, and part of your admittance into here is that you broke the law, okay? That's the end of it. And then all of this news coming, I'm so ecstatic. The fact is that there has been so much fraudulent activity in regards to what is going on. It's disgusting, but it's coming to
and
the
the
light.
arrogance.
Lastly,
Here we have two big immigrant stories going on right now, right? We've got the one who murdered a National Guardsman and shot another. We've got these others that stole $1 billion from taxpayers in Minnesota, and somehow we're the bad guys by saying, hey, what are these people contributing to our society other than death and thievery? Right? There's something wrong with us?
Well, no, the Democrats are exactly what it is that they say that they hate about MAGA or Republicans. And it's absolutely disgusting. I've never seen a party advocate for drug dealers. I've never seen parties advocate for gang members. I've never seen parties advocate for lawlessness in regards to everything that we see. I've never seen it, and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Lastly, can I email you in regards to a question in regards to my phone number? Because for some reason,
if you go to my website, BrianCraigShow.com, you can email me there, everybody. And I'm the only one that checks those emails. BrianCraigShow.com. There's an email there.
Thank you once again, Brian. You're doing God's work.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike. What's up?
These press room people, they're snobs because it's always been the fact that ABC, NBC, CBS, UPI, USA Today, and all the rest of them have had those prime seats in the press room, right?
Yep.
Correct?
That's correct.
For God's sakes, remember Helen Thomas, who was there for 50 years? And so it's a power play for these people.
Yeah.
Because they see that their power is now waning.
See, I think what's going to happen is, I think when the new East Wing is done, I think President Trump's going to have a new press conference room in that wing, and it'll be under the control of the White House, not the press. So they can have control of their empty room, and they'll move into a new one in the East Wing. I bet you. It hasn't been talked about, although I did hear President Trump say when they have big press conferences, they'll be there because there's more space because the briefing room's so small. But I bet you he's going to move the press briefings into the East Wing.
Hopefully, yes, because, again, we've said it before, that little press room is a little tiny little thing,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, and if we're gonna have these people, a number of the new media in the press room has got to be a bigger room. And by the way, as far as Trump's health goes, I bet he's healthier at 80-something than Hunter Biden is at 50-something.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point, Mike. Appreciate the call. Let me ask you this very important question. Are you or someone you know or love suffering with pain? You don't have to. Go see Dr. Appleton. We've had listeners travel from all over the United States, literally by plane, by car, even by train. There was one lady who came by train all the way to Florida to see Dr. Appleton. He is that good. He's rid me of pain 7 times. He'll do the same for you. His laser away pain treatment works. I know it works because he's rid me of pain 7 times. And the pains he rid me of, these were not, I stubbed my toe pains. These were hardcore pains. Many of them I suffered from for years. My knee pain I suffered from for about 30 years. And after just 2 treatments, my knee pain gone. And over 3.5 years later, it has not returned. It's amazing. It works. It works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. I meet listeners all the time out and about who have had different types of pain. Back pain, arthritis. Yeah, Dr. Appleton, he rid me of arthritis pain, knee injury from a car accident, multiple shoulder injuries from falls I've taken. It's amazing. It absolutely works. The consultation is free. That's right. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. There's no downtime, no shots, no injections, no medications. Not only is the laser treatment painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening, and Dr. Appleton performs all the laser treatments himself. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. And it could be pain that you just have from growing old, like I had with the arthritis, an injury, a fall like I've had, a car accident. Maybe you have a surgery scheduled. Before you have that surgery, go see Dr. Appleton. Or maybe you have pain after a surgery. Go see Dr. Appleton. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It is the Brian Craig Show podcast where MAGA comes to talk. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in and you're watching live on YouTube, the number's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I've been going through some of the highlights from Caroline Leavitt's press conference today because it was a good one. It was a good one. Nope. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's as we were talking about before. What positive contribution are these so-called refugees adding to our country? Death, destruction, criminal activity. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, exactly. You know, what I was talking about this morning, and this is another thing to add to that list. The things that President Trump is doing are things that are what I describe as universally good, right? These are universally good things. Who could be against stopping the drug traffickers? You know, I was watching the press conference today. I'm not sure if I have this clip. But if not, I'll just tell you about it. Let me take a look. Okay, yeah, here's one of the clips. Okay. There was this is just one of the clips. There was an obsession in the press briefing today from the media, from the fake news media, of them taking out these drug cartel boats. That's a universally good thing. And Caroline Leavitt, one of the reporters asked, what law are they doing this by, the Trump administration, you know, these attacks on the cartels? And Caroline Leavitt, what she said was amazing. She said it's self-defense. These are people that are attacking the United States. I hadn't thought about it quite that way. What a great explanation that was. But one of them, they're alleging, which we don't know if it's true or not, but they're alleging that one of the cartel boats, the admiral in charge of the operation fired twice. The first one didn't kill everybody, so he fired a second round. That's how you win wars, right? The reason the war in Vietnam was not won is because it wasn't being fought to win. It was being fought to prolong a conflict. the rules of engagement and everything. If you don't know about all that, look it up, learn something. I'm not going to go through it now. But, when you're at, that's how we won the Second World War. It was total war. And we bombed them until they had no longer the ability to wage war, the Germans and the Japanese. And that's what's going on with the cartels. If you're at war, if your country's under attack, Americans are dying every day because of these cartels. You've got to fire at the drug boat until it's destroyed. To send a message, stop sending drug boats with poison that's killing people. If you just damage the boat and it's not a high-risk operation, the boats will start coming in mass. You know how difficult it must be for them to find guys to bring those boats in? They're probably kidnapping their families and making them do it. Caroline Levitt today. That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, how could you be against stopping the poison drugs from coming into the country? We'll be right back. All right, I want to take a moment to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Tom Laporta, he's a good MAGA guy, and he'll never sell you a roof you do not need. And what that means is, if you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. I have talked to multiple listeners of this program who thought they needed a whole new roof. In fact, other roofers told them they did. And Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing came out and said, no, you just need a repair. One guy, he told you don't even need a repair. That's your AC line leaking. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to find an honest roofer. They all tell you, except Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, that you need a new roof even when you don't. He covers the whole state of Florida, the east coast of Florida, west coast of Florida, everywhere in between. He works on every type of structure, residential, commercial, municipal, even does church roofs. Works with every type of roofing material as well. He can handle a job of any size, no matter how big, whether it's a single-family home or an HOA with over 450 units, he can handle it. And this number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. Give him a call or text 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. For Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Online, laportaroofing.com. All right. So this is an amazing story. CNN, they've been actually, Rush used to call these accidental cases of journalism when CNN would report real news. Look at this. And you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, the anchor, she looks terrified. They're reporting the real news on gas prices. That's right. Yeah, good news. CNN reporting the truth there. And gas prices are well under $3 at all the gas stations in my neighborhood here in Florida, courtesy of President Trump. This is amazing. You know, the food prices that they're griping about, I was talking about this morning, so I'm not going to get into too much detail, but the beef prices, the food prices, this is artificial price inflation by the CCP owning portions of the farming industry as well as the beef plants and all of this. Things are coming down. They're coming down fast. And gasoline, that's always a big indicator. That's one of the big indicators on prices of everything because everything has to be transported. And gas for working people, it you know, come on. You know, when gas gets high, it sucks to fill up your tank, doesn't it? It's not so bad to fill it up today, under $3 throughout the country. Even in blue states, it's going down under $3. Now, if you're new to my program, make sure you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're tuned in on. The Brian Craig Show podcast, where MAGA Comes to Talk, is available on all podcast platforms. Wherever you get your podcast, just search for The Brian Craig Show. And if you want to catch the live edition in video format, that's on YouTube or YouTube Music. Just search for The Brian Craig Show. You can catch the show live when I'm taking calls, even call in and see the podcast in video form. On all the other podcast platforms, you get the audio podcast. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.